It was about the time that I joined the Navy as a small cadet in 1913 that I came to know Sir Winston Churchill. At that time, he was the First Lord of the Admiralty, and my father was the First Sea Lord, and so it happened that when I came home on leave, I had an opportunity of seeing him. He was astonishingly kind to youngsters, and I remember the very flattering way he used to talk to me as though I were a fully fledged naval officer. At the outbreak of World War II, when Sir Winston came back to the Admiralty, I was at sea. I remember with what excitement the fleet received the signal, "Winston is back. Now we shall get a move on," everybody said. But it wasn't for some months until he became Prime Minister that we really got going. Unfortunately, as you know, a series of disasters on the continent had plunged Europe into the darkest period she had known for hundreds of years. France had fallen, and with her, Belgium and the Netherlands, while Norway and Denmark had been overrun, and we had only got our own forces back to this country with such great difficulty. It is true that the Nazis had committed the cardinal error of invading Russia, but her armies had reached the very suburbs of Moscow, and meanwhile the Japanese had not yet attacked Pearl Harbor, and there was no sign of the United States entering the war. The outlook in the autumn of 1941 was therefore a bleak one, and I do not think that there can be many people in every country of the world who did not think that there was no chance of the British ever resuming again the initiative. Not so Mr. Churchill, however. He not only clearly foresaw a time when we could regain the offensive, he was actively planning for it. In October 1941, when I was in command of the aircraft carrier Illustrious, the Prime Minister recalled me to report to him in London. His words when I saw him made such an impression on me of unconquerable determination that I have remembered the gist of them to this very day. "You will take over the command of combined operations from Admiral Keyes," he said. "You will continue the commando raids, for they are essential for the morale of our people and our allies. But your primary object will be to prepare for the great invasion, for unless we land on the continent and beat the Germans on land, we will never win this war. All the other headquarters in this country are thinking defensively. Your object will be to think only offensively, to restore the spirit of the offensive. You will devise the techniques, and you will find the appliances and the appurtenances and the landing craft which we will need. You will set up training centers at which the three services can be trained to act as one. And you will organize the bases from which we can launch the great operation. In fact, we will turn England from a bastion against Nazi invasion to a springboard from which we can launch our own." I was to have many dealings with him after that, not only during my time at Combined Operations, for we were directly responsible to him as the Minister of Defense, but also when I was in command in Southeast Asia. Never did I find him depart in the smallest degree from the spirit of the offensive that sustained him. and he inspired us all through his example. He was a constant source of novel and invigorating ideas, though by no means all of these were practicable, and certainly not all of them could have been carried out simultaneously. He was unfailingly open-minded and sympathetic to unorthodox suggestions which had not yet been tried out, put up by others. The effect of this great man's mind on us was to make us all think, to clear our own minds, so that we could adopt the best of the courses which he suggested. But at all times, he was first and foremost a dynamic and inspiring leader. It is impossible to overestimate the part he played in leading us to victory, or the debt that we all owe him. All of us who worked with him will miss him very much. No one more than I.